This weekend, I attended a plant medicine ceremony that really allowed my heart and mind to expand to a new level. And what I wanted to share was some of those insights. But the whole goal with these plant medicines, they're here to show us and then we integrate that afterwards. And so this is more about the integration and what I'm finding about what it means to integrate wisdom. And this doesn't have to come from plant medicine ceremonies. This can come from the reflection of the people around us, the signs, the challenges, right? The what we gain and take from those challenges or reflections, and then what we do with it is really where the power is. And I haven't always been really having an expertise in this, but I'm coming to the point where I feel like I'm making those steps. I'm seeing what it means to integrate and seeing the effect of that. Um, and so this may not necessarily be anything new, but this is my perspective on it. And it's still expanding. It doesn't necessarily mean that I've got it all figured out by any means, but this is potentially something to consider for your own path and integration of whatever it is, because it looks like a lot of different things. Um, and so becoming aware of in what ways is the integration happening, in what ways am I being shown things to gain wisdom to then integrate. So at this plant medicine ceremony, my intention going in, and I think a lot of what I'm practicing now is being very intentional with different things, intentional with vacuuming the living room, intentional with my speech, intentional with my morning routine, intentional with a lot of things. But that intention really sets up the experience. But my intention for the ceremony was to get connected with my emotions. I've had this past of anger and resentment and frustration, which is ultimately fear and sadness. It's stemming from that place of fear of something, fear of losing something, fear of being attacked, being victimized, sad that I wasn't heard or respected or um, valued or corrected, again, many different things. And this takes form in a lot of different ways. And so it's just like this process of becoming aware of those individual things, so that we can change our thoughts about them, right? Right. And I'm finding that coming back to gratitude is the real save all, I guess. So my intention was to get connected with the anger, the frustration, my emotions, and then also I use this analogy in my second day, um, of my intention being that I wanted to clear the mirror, the reflection that I see. So my mirror, when I look in the mirror, and this doesn't have to be a physical mirror, it's really we're seeing ourselves a certain way, and so it's creating our reactions and producing um, more of the reality that we experience. And so my analogy of I wanted to clear the mirror of the smudge on the mirror that distorts the vision or the way that I see myself. And I also wanted to clear away the smudge of what other people were putting on my mirror, creating the delusion, the illusion. But with that one specifically, the thing that I really came to understand is that I'm the one that's putting the smudge on the mirror. It's my fingerprints on this mirror. And so because everything really is a reflection of us, it's showing us, um, if we get frustrated with somebody or somebody triggers us or, something like we get moved off track when we're headed somewhere, a destination, and we're trying to get there on time or something like that, and there's a detour, right? And tuning in with those kind of triggers and frustrations, um, it's all for us. It's all um, benefiting us as long as we can see those things for what it is, be able to stop and check in um, with what emotion is coming up, why is it coming up, um, because it really is safe, that I'm finding, or becoming more safe the more that I practice, um, to have those feelings, because it is showing us something. Um, so that was a really profound insight that I gathered. Another one being that I have a tendency to be a very rigid rock, like boulder in the river. And while, you know, there's also a need for there to be a boulder in the river, to, nature put that there to create certain flows in the river, right? Um, but I can also expand to be the riverbed. Um, I can be all the rocks. I can be a part of all the rocks, right? I can allow my boundaries and um, structures and ways of doing things, and things that I think are a certain way, to be expanded and really challenge and hold space for those boundaries and structures for the collective. Like, this can be a shared boundary, this can be a shared structure. And so part of my integration with this is getting clear on what that looks like. What are those bounds? What is the structures that I can share? Where can I loosen up and be more in flow, um, and tap more into the ability to be playful and like swim in the stream, not just be like holding it up or trying to guide it all the time, having that control. Um, and so I'm excited to participate, or activate that openness within me. And at the end, on the last day, we shared a word circle around the fire, passing the tobacco. And the tobacco is a grounding, it's a sacred herb. It's very, it allows us, a, um, a symbol of our words and our prayers being connected to spirit, heard by spirit, taken with the wind, if you will, and communicated. And so we went around the circle, and my first share, because we went around twice, is about gratitude and the prayer, what prayer we want to send out. And I realized that my gratitudes, I can share the things that I'm grateful for, but a lot of it is a thinking, not a feeling, right? I'm just thinking about the thing. I'm grateful for my house. I'm grateful for my community. I'm grateful for my friends, family, business, so on and so forth. But it's very rapid, and it has no depth or real connection to those things. And so, but then the second time came around, and I don't know what changed. Maybe it was from hearing everybody else's gratitude and seeing them really get connected. But it felt like that was when all the wisdom really connected with me, is when I got to share again and really experience the things that I'm grateful for, and to feel grateful. One of the gratitudes that the facilitator spoke was, I'm grateful for being grateful. And that really sunk in that moment. That feeling of true gratitude, it overwhelmed me and brought me to tears, which I'm grateful for, because with my structure and rigidity, sometimes I can um, prevent myself from getting emotional and crying and letting it out and being grateful, truly grateful. But just bringing up my dad and my mom and my sister and my grandmothers and my family, like individually, and really connecting with the ways that um, I am grateful for them. Um, it's it's good to feel that. So, and that's another part of my integration with this is, and I've been practicing it today, is walking around. On my walk, I'm looking at the trees, I'm looking at the flowers, I'm thinking about my water, just the different things, and trying to work, or I'm actually applying, like, thinking of gratitude, coming to gratitude as often as possible, because I find that I focus on the things that I don't have, right? I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time to spend with people that I love. I don't have enough, um, whatever it is. There's many different things. And so I create more of that, right? So bringing it back to gratitude and really feeling it. So, um, when it comes to the integration, again, it is obtaining that wisdom, but then it's applying the knowledge. Um, and so that's like baby steps. I feel like I, I've thought of integration of this, like I get the wisdom and then it's like just downloaded and it's the change has happened. It's like, I've gone to different plant ceremonies and gained wisdom and integrated a good amount of it. I think there's definitely a lot of things, and even in this, anyway, um, the the integration of that wasn't there fully, and it's like noticing the little things, right? And allowing ourselves to have grace with that process, because it may be challenging. I'm sure there's some, I have big things that are hard to look at. Um, and it's those things and the little things that make the harder thing easier to see, or easier to approach. It's really about being open and getting vulnerable, being outwardly vulnerable with other people that you trust and love. And because for me, that's been a huge part of the integration, is being able to work with other people that I can share openly about what I'm sharing with you, that I've gotten angry and have accepted that part of myself and I'm healing it. Um, like it's heard, it held space for, and then if desired, um, feedback or just collective wisdom sharing. Um, it's super important. So if you're watching this, community is huge. Find people that you can just be real, raw, and vulnerable with. Um, because sometimes it's hard to do the integration alone, and we don't have to. Um, so if you are looking for community and are in Boise or the Treasure Valley or in Idaho, the Cosmic Pulse community is a beautiful space to find those connections. But when it comes to integration too, um, understanding that it is a journey. It isn't this destination that we get to, right? And it's sometimes hard to accept that. It's like, but I want the destination. I want healing. I want abundance. I want love. But what we find in the journey are those little things that allow us to really experience love and abundance and whatever, um, at a full level, right? If we instantly had those things, which we do always have those things, it's just a matter of becoming more aware of that reality that we do, because then we will see more of it. um, but yeah. we it's the journey. We encounter things so that will show us things, so that, it's like b- being aware of them and gaining the knowledge and integrating integrating. But once, if we were already there, is what I was trying to say. Sorry to jump around here. But what I was trying to say is, if we had all the abundance, the love, or whatever, at this current place that we're at, would we really be able to fully experience it, to be present with our lover, to or lovers, to be um, mindful and, creating that giving and receiving cycle with money? Are we really ready to whatever it is, right? um, and so I think I'll keep it at that. Thank you for tuning in. If you thought this was valuable, if you learned something, maybe share that. What does integration mean to you? What are some things that you find are helpful with integration? Just let me know in the comments. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Feel free to subscribe on YouTube, and Facebook. You can go to thecosmicpulse.com to get on the newsletter, to get updated about all the different events that we do, drum circles. We're now getting into senior centers, youth groups, rehab, or rehabilitation facilities, um, team building, private ceremonies, and a lot more. So you can go to the Cosmic Pulse to learn about that, and stay connected with the different collaborations and community events that we are putting on. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am deeply grateful to you for tuning in, for being a part of this message, for your existence. And I'm grateful to be grateful. Peace and love.